well, right? Because it's so impactful. I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Let me give me a little sippy sip here real quick. Okay. All right. I got this passage memorized. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of goodness shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. Now, why do I know that? There's so much stuff in my life that I've completely forgotten. There's stuff I did yesterday that I don't even remember. There's whole chunks of my childhood. I'm like, I don't remember that, right? But I remember that because that's how powerful it was. And in my friend group, I'm not the only one. We used to have competitions about how we knew better. And I probably didn't get it exactly right. But man, you know, my brain's been through a lot of trauma over all these years. But that's how impactful that line was that I even remember. Furious anger. I remember how he conveyed it. And he does that line twice in the movie in very different fashions. From this scene here to towards the end scene at the diner, it's completely different way that he delivers that. What? Live restricted from some audience. Oh, themes. Okay, well, I am talking about murder. I don't know what that means, but I got a warning right now from TikTok. I don't know. What am I talking about? Like, what the heck are you guys talking about? Okay, well, I don't know what it could be. But anyway. That's some audience. I guess we're just dealing with adults here. So this is, so we use Samuel L. Jackson's, charisma. Like, that's what he's laying down. Jules Pitt is cool. Jules Pitt got flow. Jules Pitt can speak, right? So we're using all that and him to carry the pacing of the scene. At times we'd ordinarily use music, right? So there's that seduction. And then that background silence becomes a weapon, right? There's no other sounds. It's like it's auditory deprivation. So you're forced to listen to everything. So it makes the gunshots, when they come, even more powerful. The static camera is all about control. There's wide shots. There's not a lot of cuts. The still frame is the dominance. It forces everyone to understand that we're all trapped in this. There's no way we're getting out of this, right? There's layers of comic deflection, which psychologically puts your brain at weird spaces. We're laughing at Samuel Jackson, but we know all this is under the banter of, we're about to kill these guys. There is no escape. I didn't drink your whole soda. I already drank your soda, so there's no future for you after I drank your whole soda. There is this repetition of language, right, from Jules. It becomes like the rhythm of his pace becomes actually hypnotic. And he turns this script into a scripture. So you hear it so often, it feels divine. In this moment, the way that he does it, it feels divine. And then there's the actual execution at this part. And we see the setup for it. This is Brett negotiating for a song. This is Flock of Seagulls, as he gets called, who can't even get up, right? So imagine, it's all going down. You got to lay here and act like you're calm. So it's a terrifying scene, right? This is what we're seeing. Him, making him sit down. That's all. He doesn't even allow Brett to stand up, to negotiate with him like a man, right? And then to shoot your friend right in front of you. And I'm sorry, did I break your concentration? This is a level of psychological manipulation and calm that is on a whole nother level. We don't really see a lot of that. How he controls the pacing of all that, right? And it's not even done. They don't just come in and kill you. You got to get a lecture the entire time. The entire time he's dominating you. What's the matter? Were you finished? So even the way that he talks, allow me to retort, which is hilarious given the context. And then this is kind of the height where he's really, really taking it to him, right? The whole, what does Marcellus Wallace look like? And that launches, of course, into all this, very powerful stuff about you taking a look at Marcellus Wallace, right? We want you to see or describe it. And what country you're from, right? So this is all very powerful in how they leverage it. And again, the level of disrespect gets greater and greater. I control how you talk. I'm eating your food. I'm drinking your drink. I'm controlling how you talk. And then there's this one more goddamn time. And he ends up putting, does he look like, look at all the animation in this guy's face. Does he look like a bitch? So we're really understanding how he's controlling this through the narrative and how he's taking, like, there is this idea that when we look at Brad, I'm sorry, it's hard to visualize him as a criminal. So again, it's playing on us that, wow, this guy looks like, it looks pretty soft, but he's this big threat, and you guys are the big guys who are gonna, come and handle this guy, right? So it is what it is, right? So finally, we get to this point. This is the classic line, right? I got this line memorized for occasions like this. So you specifically took something that you believe is a scripture and memorized it for the moment that you will kill someone for this occasion. Ezekiel 25:17. And there's been no more famous line in one of these indie films than this. And it really launched it off. The path of the righteous man. Let's see how accurate it was. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. So you can see he is in full preacher mode. This is ritual for him. This is his sermon. And he feels righteous in delivering it, particularly in this fashion, right? With great vengeance and furious anger. And so this is all him saying in his defense of Marcellus. Again, if he is someone who is reclaiming Marcellus's soul, then the dynamic of this, this really hits completely different because it is that biblical, that scripture that, he's kind of playing as. So we'll see. But this is the important part. Of course, they put him down. Brad is done. Brad is done. And it's the fashion in which that they do this. So this is the climax that we were building to the entire time. So he wraps this thing up in a very neat bow. And if you watch the film, there's an extension of that, which is classic to his style, which is another viewpoint just ahead and, going back in time and then catching up, which is beautifully done. But this to me really puts the bow on this entire scene. So what we've seen is a level of manipulation and gangsterism from Jules and Vincent. Their dynamic of one being the lead and one being the detached, quiet one, while the other delivers the sermon. So they're both part of this ritual, playing their roles, and you see which one quickly is the voice of all this, and he gives it that pace, while Vincent's detachment kind of sits well with a lot of the rest of us. So this is kind of where we end up with this statement. Now, when we go back to the actual quote that he does, right? This is one of the most interesting things about it. That line is not in the Bible at all. That is literally a false scripture, right? The whole Ezekiel 25:17 way he delivers it, it's not even what was written. The one real verse of this is one line, and it says, "I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes." That is it. The righteous man, the shepherd, the tyranny of evil man, that's all writing from Tarantino. It's brilliant. It was written to sound like it's holy, and he does an incredible job of actually getting that. So Jules believes he's quoting God. He believes he's performing fan fiction of God. So this entire event is both tragedy and the beauty is that's his art, that what it is. And I talked about this when I talked about with Abigail, the little vampire. It's similar to the ballet massacre scene where they mix beauty and precision and divinity with just absolute brutality and blood